Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 8, questions by King Parikshit. And you try to understand Shloka Kramanka 23 and 24. In these shlokas,
ओम नमो भगवते
Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
ओम नमो भगवते
Om
वासुदेवाय
Namo Bhagavate
ओम
Vasudevaya,
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Narayanam
नारायणं
Namaskritya
नमस्कृत्य
Naram
नरं चैव
Chaiva
नरोत्तमं
Narottamam
देवीं
Devim
सरस्वतीं
Saraswatim
व्यासं
Vyasam
ततो
Tata
जयमुदीरये
Jayamudire
नष्टप्रायेषु
Nashtaprayeshu
अभद्रेषु
Bhadreshu
नित्यं
Nityam
भागवत
Bhagavata
सेवया
Sevaya
भगवती
Bhagavati Uttama
उत्तमश्लोके
Shloke Bhaktir
भक्तिर्भवति
Bhavati
नैष्टिकी
Naishtiki Shlok Kramanka 23 and 24 Yatha Atma Tantra Bhagavan
यथात्मतन्त्रः भगवान्
Vikridati Atma Mayaya
विक्रीडति आत्ममायया
Visrujjava Yatha Mayam
विसृज्य वा यथा मायाम्
Udaste Sakshivat Vibhuhu
उदास्ते साक्षिवत् विभुः
Sarvam Etach Bhagavan
सर्वमेतत् च भगवन्
पृच्छता में अणुपूर्वशः
पृच्छतः मे अनुपूर्वश
तत्वः अर्हसि उदाहर्तुम्
तत्व तत्त्वतः अर्हसि उदाहर्तुम्
प्रपन्नाय महामुने
प्रपन्नाय महामुने
यथा आत्मतंत्र भगवान्
यथा
वि-
आत्मतन्त्र भगवान्
विक्रीडति आत्ममायया
विक्रीडति आत्ममायया
विसृजवा यथा मायाम्
विसृज्य वा यथा माया
उदास्ते साक्षिवत् विभुः
उदास्ते साक्षिवत् विभुः
सर्वम् एतच्च भगवान्
सर्वमेतच्च भगवन्
पृच्छता मे अणुपूर्वशः
पृच्छत मे अनुपूर्वश
तत्वतः अर्हसि उदाहर्तुम्
तत्त्वतः अर्हसि उदाहर्तुम्
प्रपन्नाय महामुने
प्रपन्नाय महामुने
यथा आत्मतंत्र भगवान् विक्रीडति आत्ममायया विसृजवा यथा माया उदास्ते साक्षिवत् विभुः सर्वम् एतच्च भगवान् पृच्छत मे अणुपूर्वशः तत्वतः अर्हसि उदाहर्तुम् प्रपन्नाय महामुने
यथात्मतन्त्रः भगवान् विक्रीडति आत्ममायया विसृज्य वा यथा मायामुदास्ते साक्षिवत् विभुः सर्वमेतच्च भगवन् पृच्छत मे अनुपूर्वश तत्त्वतः रसि उदाहर्तुं प्रपन्नाय महामुने.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency and at the time of annihilation gives them up to the external potency and he remains a witness to it all. O great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness in all that I have inquired from you and all that I may not have inquired from you from the very beginning of my questioning. Since I am a soul surrender unto you, please impart full knowledge in this connection. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnations, is the only independent person. He enjoys his pastime by creation as he desires and gives them up to the external energy at the time of annihilation. By his internal potency, only he kills the demon Putana, even though enjoying his pastimes in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And when he desires to leave this world, he creates the pastimes of killing his own family members, Yadukul, and remains unaffected by such annihilation. He is the witness of everything that is happening, and yet he has nothing to do with anything. He is independent in every respect. Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly, for a pure devotee ought to know well. The spiritual master is always prepared to impart knowledge to the disciple, and specifically when the disciple is very inquisitive. Inquisitiveness on the part of a disciple is greatly necessary for the progressive disciple. Maharaj Parikshit is a typical disciple because he is perfectly inquisitive. If one is not very inquisitive about self-realization, one need not approach a spiritual master simply to make a show of discipleship. Not only is Maharaj Parikshit inquisitive concerning all he has inquired about, but he is also anxious to know about what he has not been able to inquire. Factually, it is not possible for a man to inquire about everything. from the spiritual master, but the bona fide spiritual master is able to enlighten the disciple in every way for the disciples' benefits. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितान् च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य
तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, questions by King Parikshit, and you try to understand shloka kramanka 23 and 24. In these shlokas, describing about the pastimes of internal potency of the personality of Godhead, and at the time of annihilation, he gives up them to the external potency, and he remains only as a witness. And in 24 shlokas, a representative of the Lord kindly satisfy inquisitiveness in all that required from him, and all that inquired from the very beginning, questioning. And since the soul surrender to the supreme personality of God, please impart full knowledge in this connection. Parikshit Maharaj asking to Shukdev Goswami. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a very wonderful start and making us aware of this very important topic of how it is very important that we keep on questioning and what will be the attitude of a ideal student, ideal disciple. So this shloka is talking about the Lord's complete independence and the disciples' perfect inquiry. So that is why this whole discussion becomes very, very important. As we see, the Supreme Lord is fully independent. He enjoys his pastimes through his internal potency. At the time of annihilation, he winds them up and entrusts them to the external energy. And there are so many examples of his divine play. Like Putana, the annihilation, the killing of Putana, the Putana word itself is an example of his divine play. Though he was a small child in Mother Yashoda's lap, he killed the powerful demoness by his internal potency. He simply sucked out the life air of the demon while she was trying to give him poison. The other example could be the complete annihilation of the Yadu Dynasty. When he desired to wind up his earthly pastimes, he arranged the destruction of his own dynasty, yet remained untouched. So all this is not possible for a normal human individual. This can be done only with divine powers. And this again goes on to prove how Lord Shri Krishna was not an incarnation. He had arrived as he is. And he ultimately is the Supreme Personality. And so, whatever instructions, whatever knowledge he is imparting is the best for us, and we need to accept it as it is. Another important aspect is that Lord is a witness. He is present everywhere as a witness, but at the same time, he remains completely unaffected. Now, this is a very peculiar thing. Example which can be given is the lotus which blooms in the water. The water is everywhere, but it does not touch the petals. So similarly, Krishna is there. Krishna comes in this material world, but he is unaffected by it. And that is how it again goes on to show how he is a witness but remains unaffected. Additionally, he is Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes, yet himself untouched by karma. So, the lesson for us which comes from this is of absolute freedom. The Lord depends on no one and nothing. He alone is independent, while all others are dependent on him. So, we should be trying to understand our eternal position of being servitude to Krishna. We need to accept it. And with that acceptance that we are Jivera Swarupa and Nitera Krishna Das, we should start serving Krishna. Because when we serve Krishna, he is satisfied, and if he is satisfied, we get the best out of him. And that is why Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly. For a pure devotee ought to know well what happens. And then we see the inquisitiveness of a real disciple and the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master. Now, as we have been repeating repeatedly, it is very important that we have regular Shravan and Kirtan. It is very important. One who does his sadhana appropriately, regularly, he gets eternal benefits. The benefits are permanent. The results are permanent. And one who is start and down, start and stop, the results are temporary. So, we should understand that the name of the Lord and the hearing of the Bhagavatam gives us the love of Krishna, and for that, this is the best mechanism. Now, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadyakshanti te jnanam dhyaninah tattvadarshina. Arjuna, you please go to a teacher and try to understand. Please be as what I'll say humble as possible. Inquire from him, serve him. Only a self-realized person can give you the real knowledge because they have understood the real truth, that is me. Now, it is but obvious that the path of self-realization is difficult. Hence, Krishna says it has to start, the knowledge has to start from in the parampara which is starting from him. And you should take shelter of such a bona fide spiritual master. And no one can become a bona fide spiritual master unless he is following the principles of this parampara. And Krishna is the Adi Guru in this. And hence, the Guru Shishya parampara, which is coming directly from Krishna, is able to provide the information, the knowledge which Krishna is giving as it is. No one can become perfect by deciding on his own, like what the current so many spiritual teachers are trying to do. Because In Bhagavatam, we'll be seeing in the 6th canto, 3rd chapter, 19th shloka, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The path of religion is created by Krishna himself. So anything which is done philosophically is obviously not right. Even simply reading of the granthas does not give you the spiritual upliftment. For real knowledge seeking, it is important that we take shelter of a bona fide teacher. And we should completely surrender unto him without any ego, serve him. And then, when such a teacher is happy, he's satisfied, he shares the secret of the spiritual life with us. So, inquisitiveness and humility, when they are coming together, that becomes the essence for getting the knowledge of spiritual life. And hence, that is important. Even if you see Vedanta Sutra, that is Bhagavatam, it starts with Atata Brahma Jigyasa. That the soul and the super soul, we should try to understand their relation. Until the time this inquisitiveness does not come, even if we go under the shelter of a teacher, it is just a formality. Parishit Maharaj is not only asking those questions which are there in his mind, in his heart, he is also requesting, whatever I have not been able to ask, please you tell me that also. So Parikshit Maharaj is giving us an ideal that a student, a disciple should accept. Oh Gurudev, I don't even know how to inquire, but you please tell me everything. This shows that the teacher's heart should be fully surrendered unto the teacher. And at the same time, this shloka is also highlighting the duties of a teacher, a spiritual master. A real spiritual master, he will be always eager for the benefit of the disciple. The spiritual progress of the disciple is the only objective of a spiritual master. That he is intending to give any kind of a discourse. The teacher knows what the student has asked and what he has failed to ask. And he tries to guide the disciple in all possible manners. Because finally, there's Paramatma in the heart of the disciple, there's Paramatma in the heart of the teacher, and there's that eternal connection. So we should avoid becoming a student for showcase. We should try to become a real disciple. If you don't have any inquisitiveness for self-realization, then any association with the teacher is only a show. Parishit Maharaj is trying to teach us that the quality to ask question has to be serious and it has to be only spiritual in nature. We have the examples of Nachiket and Yamraj. In Kathopanishad, this story comes. Nachiket is a small child. He was being offered in the yajna by his father, and he asked, "Whom are you offering me?" And he said, "I'm offering you to Yamraj in anger." And Yamraj meets. And in spite of being a small child, he asks Yamraj, "What happens to the soul after death?" Now, this is a very serious question. Because generally, people would like to ask about wealth, about long life, about material benefits. Now, initially, Yamraj wanted to give him some material benediction, but Nachiket remained steadfast. He says, "I want to know only the secret of soul." Now, this is real inquisitiveness, which takes a disciple to Brahma Gyan. Another example can be of Arjuna and Shri Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna initially was discussing with his friend Krishna, but then When he could not get answers to his problem, he took a full shelter. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. He said, Karpanya dosha pravritta swabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yachreyasat nishchitam bruhi tatme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. O Krishna, now because of my krupanta, because of my failures, I've forgotten what is my duty and I've lost all my strength. In such a situation, I'm asking you to tell me whatever is good for me. Now I am your teacher and now I am your student and I'm surrendered to you. You please guide me. So this means that he said that now I am a disciple. You take up it as your responsibility to order me. And then Krishna told him the whole Bhagavad Gita. Now, if Arjuna had remained only till the level of, say, a friend, then we would never have got this Bhagavad Gita knowledge at all. On every path, there are going to be difficulties. And so, going to a teacher is very, very important. It helps us to fulfill the objective of our life. There is no one who is not having material difficulties. In Brahadaranyaka Upanishad, it is mentioned, Yova etat aksharam gargya viditva lokat pretai sakrupana. So, Krupan is that person who is not able to solve the problems of the human life and who, without understanding the science of self realization, leaves the body. He is like cooker and sukkar, he is like a dog and a hog. So, even today, this is important teaching. Today, many people are trying to find out a good teacher, a good spiritual master, but then they don't have the real inquisitiveness. Most of the time, people are trying to find solutions to their material problems. Wealth, health, success. Their questions are generally all material in nature. What would happen to my wealth, to my health, to my business, to my job? But the teacher's duty is to give the knowledge of Bhagavad to the soul, to ensure the yoga between the soul and the super soul is the duty of a teacher. So if we become real inquisitive like Parikshit, like Nachiket, like Arjuna, and then we approach a teacher, a guru, then only we'll find the real truth. And if we really are desirous of understanding the Guru Tattva and take benefit out of this Guru Tattva, then we should become very humble like Parikshit Maharaj. O Gurudev, I have come, I have surrendered unto you. You please tell me the real, the complete truth, the absolute truth. So Prapannaya, this surrender, Prapannaya means full surrender. This is very important. When a disciple has ego, has got premonitions, or has got some doubts, and still he goes to the Guru, then he will never get knowledge. So first he has to remove all this and with full faith surrender unto a Guru. And then the Guru will shower his mercy on the disciple and he will tell everything that he has asked. Not only that, he will also tell what he has forgotten to ask. And this is the real mercy of the teacher. So if you look at these two shlokas, they are trying to teach us that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he has come as he is, not as an incarnation. And so with his internal potency, he could do so many leelas. Secondly, a disciple should have serious inquisitiveness and he should approach a spiritual master with full surrender. A spiritual master is always ready to tell about the absolute truth to a disciple, whether the disciple asks or does not ask. The real relationship between a disciple and a teacher is for the progress on the path of self realization. It is not for some show or for some material benefits. Being strong like Nachiket and being fully surrendered like Arjuna, these are the ideal qualities of a disciple. So, true disciple is one who is asking a guru not only what he is not understanding, but also humbly requesting the teacher to tell him whatever he may not have understood. And this is real inquisitiveness which comes out of surrender. We should not have any material questions. We should be talking about, we should be having the thirst about the knowledge of the soul, the science of God. And then only we can understand the honey of the directions by a guru. So Nachiket, Arjun, they are ideal disciples. Maharaj Parikshit is trying to show us the same path. So let us traverse on the same path and be successful in our life. Thank you very much. Hare